Fandom spaces are magical. Communities dedicated to stories filled with fan art, fan fiction, wild theories. It's kind of every storyteller secretly dreams of inspiring this. I don't dive deep into fandoms myself. I post some writing, share a little art, and vibe. Even on the outskirts, though. Certain fandom moments can stick with you forever, and every so often, a fandom has a moment that really does stick. A single scene, a song, a twist that changes everything. For me, one of those first moments I remember clearly was
This is Garnet, back together.
Jailbreak. I remember exactly where I was when I first heard this song. I was watching the Steven Universe Season 1 finale on my laptop when my jaw just dropped. The biggest secret of the series so far had just been revealed. Garnet was a fusion.
Steven! Thank you! Garnet! You're beautiful!
It had been hinted at for months, and looking back, the foreshadowing is so satisfying to notice. But in that moment, it was electric. And the reactions online? Heartwarming chaos. Steven Universe blew up. Fan theorists rejoiced. And yes, things spiraled. But it didn't just spiral inside the Steven Universe fandom. Stronger Than You was more than just a song. It became a virus. It spread to other fandoms, mutating, remixing, and becoming something bigger, something culturally fascinating. So let's talk about how one fight scene anthem escaped its own show, went viral across fandom spaces, and became something much bigger than Steven Universe itself. This video is sponsored by me. If you're enjoying the vibe so far, please consider subscribing to my channel. I really don't love plugging myself, but I'd love to hit 500 subscribers before Halloween. It would just make me happy, no specific reason.
And now, our feature presentation.
Let's talk about the song. Now, fair warning, I am not a music theory wizard. I judge music with one simple, highly scientific method. Does it vibe? If yes, I like it. If no, I skip it. And Stronger Than You? Oh, it vibes. Written by Rebecca Sugar and performed by Estelle, Garnet's voice actor, the song was built to feel euphoric. The sound of "There's no way she could lose," as composer Sarashu put it on a now deleted but archived blog post. Garnet had a new design for the scene, so Sarashu gave her a new synth bass sound and even went all out with a soaring solo. And you can feel all of that intention when you see the moment play out in the Season 1 finale, Jailbreak. Following the attack on Earth and the crystal gems by the homeworld gems Jasper and Peridot, Steven wakes up on a hand-shaped spaceship floating above the planet. Thanks to his half-human physiology, he is immune to the yellow barriers that keep the gems caged, and sets about finding and freeing Garnet, Amethyst, and Pearl. The first gem he finds isn't either of those, though. It's a small, panicked red gem, Ruby. She is desperate to find someone named Sapphire. They get separated, but Steven soon finds Sapphire himself, calmly singing a very familiar tune. The moment she hears Ruby's voice, she grabs Steven and races towards the other gem. It's such a heartwarming moment. The two gems, Sapphire and Ruby, hug, and Sapphire plants a soft kiss on Ruby before the red gem picks her up and spins her around. And the two keep spinning before being absorbed in a bright light. Out comes Garnet, laughing, elated, and back together again. So if you don't know, in the show there's a concept called fusion. It's when two gems merge and their forms and minds into one being, a combination of their hopes and dreams. For most gems, fusion is used practically, used for things like battle, construction, and any sort of task that would require them to be bigger and stronger. And for most gems, you usually fuse with other gems like yourself. Pearls will fuse with pearls. Amethysts will fuse with amethysts. You don't fuse with a different gem. But for Ruby and Sapphire, fusion is something more. Fusion for them is an expression of their love and choice to live together as one being. Garnet gives Steven a vision of how to get to where Amethyst and Pearl are being kept. and she stands up, determined to face Jasper alone. When Jasper stumbles upon them, their epic fight begins, and Garnet begins to sing Stronger Than You. The Crooniverse paired an epic reveal of Garnet being a fusion with an even cooler song, and I'm getting chills just thinking about it again. The song itself is a powerful ballad about determination and love, and it broke boundaries. Garnet was more than just a fusion of two smaller gems. She was made of love between two gems, and it was a shockingly queer love to be playing on televisions worldwide in the year of our Lord and Savior 2015. So it's not a surprise that it took the internet by storm. It's a great song and a great episode with an awesome theme, and the breaking of a glass ceiling by confirming Garnet's character was basically two gay space aliens. It's safe to say that fans ate it up. Fan art, covers, piano renditions, you name it, they were making it. But Stronger Than You's journey was only just beginning, because a few months later, in September of 2015, the internet changed again, and this song would change with it. Undertale, the indie darling by Toby Fox that took the internet by storm in September of 2015. Pixel RPG in the area of HD 3D graphics with charming chiptune music, and not just one story, but multiple stories in a world that remembers what you've done. Here, EXP doesn't mean experience points, it's execution points. LV isn't just level, it's level of violence. If you kill, the game doesn't forget, even if you kill just one enemy. And no route drives that home harder than the genocide run. In this path, you don't just fight enemies as if they appear. You hunt them down. You grind through every corner of the underground until nothing moves. Characters you once loved in other runs become obstacles, and you cut them down. Miss even one monster and your route collapses. So you keep going. The world grows emptier, musics drop away, NPCs vanish. It's obsession by design. A few monsters try to stop you. Most of them fail. Undyne becomes your first real wall, but once she's gone, the rest feels disturbingly easy. Almost like there's nothing left that could challenge you. Then you step into the Judgment Hall. Warm, golden light. A safe point. And there he is. Sans Undertale. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Human, I remember your genocides. Sans, the lazy skeleton. In every other route, you never fight him, even though the soundtrack does tease a track called Song that might play when you fight Sans. He jokes, he slouches, he lets Papyrus believe in your redemption until you kill him. And when you check him now, as he engages in a battle with you for the first and only time, he only has one attack and one defense. He's not a threat, he's just another kill. Except when you swing, he dodges, you miss, and he hits back with one of the most brutal attacks in the game. Sure, each strike only does 1 HP, but he inflicts karma, poison damage that keeps ticking down. You die, again and again and again. This isn't a hard fight, it's a punishment. Sans knows you can reset the timeline, reload saves. He's counting on your frustration. He's the only one left to make you stop, to make you quit. It is a perfect mirror to the true pacifist run. In that ending, you refuse to die to save everyone. Here, you can't stop dying to kill the one person still trying to protect what's left. And when you finally win, the world ends. No victory, no celebration, just nothing and a permanent mark on your save file that never goes away. And it just so happened that a Tumblr user, gym leader Sharon, seemed to be hit with some sort of cosmic inspiration while struggling to defeat Sans herself. Sans has killed me exactly 150 times in a row at this point, but I've honestly never been happier to be destroyed so mercilessly. So I wrote this dumb parody with some lyrics shamefully listed from the @pinkestpug and drew this crappy comic. If anyone with a better voice than me feels like singing it, don't forget to @me, Lamau. It was a fully written parody of Stronger Than You with the lyrics sung by Sans and the Genocide Route with an illustrated comment too. Comic. There's a really cool interview by the channel PKFT1 with the original creator that I'll link below, and it's a 10-year anniversary retrospective that I would definitely recommend. In that interview, Sharon, or Morgan, goes on to describe how she got into the game, and even though she got spoiled on the actual Sans fight, found it fascinating how the joke character became the strongest, hardest boss battle in the whole game.
And it was such a slog doing all the grinding as it's meant to be. And I finally worked my way up to Sans. It took me I want to say a week to beat Undyne, the Undying. And then I finally got to Sans, and then systematically got my butt handed to me literally like 200 times in a row. And I got close, and then it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? He's earned it. He has. He's fought so hard to keep me from destroying everything. I should just let him have it and quit. And I've never gone back. I've never gone back to beat him. I've never tried it again. In fact, I don't think I've played through Undertale since then. I guess it left that much of an effect on me. I've watched other people play it, but I've never played it myself since I gave up on fighting Sans after he killed me 200 times in a row. But that experience really stuck with me, funnily enough. And I was just doodling some Sans stuff, and I had drawn a couple like doodles of the Sans battle, kind of comedic doodles, and I had I had this song from Steven Universe stuck in my head that day for whatever reason, and I thought the beginning of that chorus in the original song is the "Go ahead and try to hit me with your able," and I thought, oh, that's so funny. That kind of fits the Sans fight because he's always dodging you, and it's impossible to hit him. And I just kind of quickly in my head like made a little parody of the chorus, and I posted that little parody of the chorus along with my doodles on Tumblr on October 15th, so exactly a month after the game came out. And then people saw that little tiny bit of parody I did, and a couple people commented I should write a full version. And I was like, yeah, sure, why not?
After that, it took the internet by storm. Many people reached out to Sharon or Morgan to ask to cover it, and then parodies were written off of the original parody from different perspectives, and at one point, it even grew bigger than the original Steven Universe song ever did. The covers expanded. Artists would be inspired by the music and straight up fully animate the fight scene between Frisk and Sans set to the music, focusing on their favorite cover. So let's take some time and break down some of these covers. By the time Stronger Than You had fully sunk its teeth into the Undertale fandom, it wasn't just Sans' song anymore. The template spread to other characters, and each song reframed what the titular strength meant to them.
Here we are again, just me and you, comedian, right? With your blasters, your flashing eye, you should better be prepared because soon your last hour strikes.
For those of you who don't know, Kara was the name of the first human that fell into the underground shortly after the war between humans and monsters. They lived with the king and queen and grew close to the prince Asriel. They also had a strong hatred of humanity and what they were. It is revealed in the True Pacifist run that Kara kind of poisoned themselves to sacrifice themselves to Asriel so he could take their soul and cross the barrier and gather up enough strength to free monster kind. Unfortunately, the other side was not too fond of that idea. Asriel and Kara both died that day, Asriel being wounded by the humans who attacked what they saw as a monster carrying a dead child. But Kara makes an appearance at the end of the Genocide run too. They're not a final boss or anything. They stand in the void and offer the player a choice, to completely destroy the world or to leave it as is. Of course, it isn't much of a choice, because we're not in control of the game anymore. Kara is. It's fascinating from a meta level how Kara haunts the narrative, but bits of the fandom took this idea and ran with off a cliff into burning molten lava. So there's this idea slash headcanon that the narrative text that you get when you interact with things around the world in second person is actually Kara narrating the adventure to Frisk as a ghost or a spirit. And it's a cute idea. We like it. But for the Genocide run, some people in the fandom took this idea and decided that for Genocide runs, Kara possesses Frisk and makes them do everything and hurt everyone, which is an interesting take, but not one I really agree with, but a take nonetheless. I don't like it because it completely removes the agency of the player in deciding to do this to them. And Milky Chan's lyrics and Clara Craft's animation pair together with the idea that Kara is the one in control of Frisk during the Genocide route, or at least at the very end. Their version is angry, determined, and brimming with menace. It's symbolic of not just a fall from grace, but complete surrender to genocide. By this point in the game, you've killed every other monster in the underground other than Sans, Asgore, and Flowey. At least every monster you really can fight. And the latter two don't even fight you. Sans is the last fight. It's destructive. Kara, in and by extension the player, pushed the world to its breaking point because they wanted to see what would happen. They wanted to see a world without mercy, a world where kill or be killed wasn't just the law of the land, but a creed to hunt down every monster to extinction. And the animation, both the original and remade version by Lara Croft, highlight this incredibly well. Frisk loses control and Kara begins to take over. Something really fascinating I can't believe I forgot to mention earlier was this idea of love. The Made of Love lyric is the one lyric from the original Steven Universe song that's really carried over to most parody rewrites, because Undertale's world also has a concept of love, though it's entirely different from our typical imagining of love. According to Undertale's moral system, love, or LV, is more than just the level of the character. Love is an acronym. It stands for level of violence. By racking up enough EXP through the course of the game, also known as execution points, the player will reach an LV that shows other monsters how dangerous they are. Every kill is mapped out on the player without them even realizing. It's a really clever play on the typical RPG system, and all the love, normal love, to Toby for being this creative. Kara is made of love, made of violence. Every strike, every kill is their power and their strength. They are made of violence, basically.
Know what I got into. Somehow I can't go back even if I really wanted to. So what more can I do? Here in the end it's just me and you.
Conversely, we have Frisk's cover as well. Unlike Kara's cover, which is full of malice and rage, Frisk's is mournful. It's full of guilt and regret. With, and I'm going to butcher some of these usernames and I apologize, with Atio2's lyrics, eventually brought to life from PP Jelly 4's lyric comment and Ryo's on Starbeam's channel, Frisk isn't singing to beat Sans in the normal final fight. They're singing because they're lamenting all of what it could have been. It's a confession of harm, it's a confession of guilt. Frisk is confessing all their sins to a priest in a booth. You can even hear it in the cover. Stronger Than You plays in more of a minor scale, mournful and sad with just a simple piano cover. It's slower, it's quieter. For the song, Frisk feels like they have to do this. They have to sate that curiosity within them. And for a second, Kara appears as their guide, perhaps suggesting, perhaps forcing their hand. It's kind of up to interpretation. What I think I love about this version of the cover specifically is Frisk's choice at the end. For all these songs, it's assumed that the singer is the one who wins in the end. In the end, Kara wins because they finally kill Sans. But in Frisk's cover of the song, they don't win. The music even stopped, playing through a dialogue that can appear in the game during Sans' genocide fight if the player chooses to spare Sans and give him mercy. Of course, in the game, Sans uses the opportunity to just kill the player. There's also text that reads "gets dunked on," which doesn't appear in this cover because that would totally take away from the tone and animation of the song, but Frisk gives up. The lyrics even change to reflect this. No longer stronger than you, but give up for you. They accept that last death and reset back to the very beginning, aborting the genocide route. Of course, the game will still remember Frisk chose to stop. Frisk chose to give up. And I don't know, I think that's kind of beautiful and representative of an experience playing the game too. Some people do give up on Sans. Some people don't want to spend hours, days, and weeks grinding out this fight just to have a nothing ending, and Sans wins.
It's a beautiful day outside. Birds are singing, flowers are blooming. On days like this, kids like you should be burning in hell.
Now, I talked a bit about it already, but let's wind all the way back to the Sans cover where it all began. What started as Charon's lyric comment became a full chiptuned back cover thanks to DJ Smell, and then exploded with Alpha 995's animation. This animation has more views than the original Steven Universe song, which is shocking and fascinating to me at the same time. The lyrics are largely unchanged from Charon's lyric comment, and the animation is clearly inspired by the one that she made, but it being animated is almost a completely new experience. Sans' slight nonchalance through the song really sells it as something he'd sing too. DJ Smell's vocals and the deep tone also help cover the idea that many fans had of Sans based off his dialogue sound effect in the game. Sans is smug, of course. He keeps killing Frisk, Kara, the player, whatever you would consider them, but he's exhausted too. He's seen this happen too many times. He's killed this child, a literal child, too many times to count. The song builds into the crescendo of the boss fight from Sans' point of view. There are a few survivors left after him. Alphys, who you don't even encounter at all in the genocide run, has taken what little remains of monster kind deeper into her lab and away from you, safe from your grasp. But Sans is the final stand. He's the last hurdle to get over to finish the route, and he's not going down without a fight, and that is reflected beautifully in these lyrics. My one critique of the animation is that it does add a death scene for Sans, which I think undercuts the comic's ambiguity. For me, the song works better if Sans never really loses. He just keeps resisting until the player quits. If Russ keeps up the attack, never giving up, staying determined, what's the point for Sans? I just think Sans is a fascinating character because he has nothing left to lose in this scenario. Almost all his friends are dead, his brother is dead, there are few survivors left. He wants to stop you, but he knows deep down he can't, that you're going to get a hit on him and it'll all be over. But he keeps fighting, determined not to beat you, but to make you quit, to leave the game and never come back. All three of these covers chart a fascinating idea of love in Undertale, twisted from what love is for Garnet in Steven Universe. Garnet as a character is a being made of the queer love of Ruby and Sapphire. She is stronger than you because she is love in its purest form. While on the other hand, for Undertale, love is different. Love is violence. Kara is the dominating force of violence, pushing things to their breaking point. Frisk's love, on the other hand, is played mournfully and regretfully. They regret everything they've done, how many monsters they've hurt and killed. Their strength comes to them when they finally stop the cycle of violence. And finally, Sans' love is his endurance. It's his resistance and determination in the useless face of endless resets. Sans doesn't want to kill you, even though he keeps doing it. Sans wants you to stop playing the game like this, and he's determined to see this through, no matter what it takes. Even if you eventually get a win on him, he wants to make you think about what you've done. I think that's what I really, really love about these fandom remixes. They take a piece of work and transform it into something entirely new. I'll admit, looking back, it's a bit kind of strange how a song about queer joy has morphed into these three dueling confessions about violence, regret, and survival, but I think it still works. While Garnet and Sans don't share a universe, no matter what some crazy theorists might try to tell you, they still share something. This anthem, unintentionally. I mean, again, the Sans cover has millions more views than the Steven Universe original, and there are even people who genuinely thought Steven Universe plagiarized the song. But that's the magic of storytelling, isn't it? We don't just consume media. We bend it, remix it, and reshape it to our own desires, creating stories from other things and something entirely new. Fandom spaces are messy, for sure. They can be chaotic, opinionated, and even toxic at some times. They're also magical. They provide a space for devotion to flourish, for people to experiment, to collaborate, and to honor the stories that touch them. Fandoms like the Undertale community, songs like Stronger Than You to spread across the internet, transcending the original context entirely and becoming a cultural touchstones because people love it so much. And it is so distinctly 2015 too, a moment where online fandom still felt like hidden, vibrant pockets of creativity before algorithms and oversaturation changed the landscape. It's a moment that feels almost unreachable now, but remains inspiring in hindsight. The best thing about creativity, as these works demonstrate, is that it's stronger when done together. One song, many voices, endless interpretations, and each one in its own way is stronger than you'd expect. I can't believe Undertale is 10 years old as of uploading this video. I'm feeling old. Wow. Yeah, I hope y'all liked this video. Let me know what you guys thought about it in the comments down below. Please like, share, and subscribe and stuff. Again, I do want to hit 500 subs by Halloween. I'm pre-recording this, so if I'm hitting 500 subs before uploading this is going to be a really awkward message, but I'm not going to change it now because I feel pressured. Anyway, as always, keep your heads in the clouds. It's the perfect mirror to the true fascist right.